Well, Steve, you're here with me. I'm going to tell you, you really wouldn't know it by looking outside today, but it is Severe Weather Awareness Week in New York and New England, and you've been talking about it already a lot on Facebook and here as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have a Severe Weather Awareness Week when the weather is so quiet, so we're not actually dealing with it. We can go over all the safety tips and information. And again, I've been doing a lot of that on my Facebook page, so you can find me there and like me. We've also used the Ask the Weather Team segment last night, and again coming up tomorrow night to talk about some of these severe weather topics. But we went one step further, and we sent our meteorologist, Chris out, and he has an interesting piece on some tornado trends that may or may not be developing across the eastern half of the country.
Our peak time is generally between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
May is when the capital region has historically seen some significant tornadoes, including the 1998 Mechanicville tornado.
In the past, it seemed like we would get a couple a decade, and it's been about 10 years, so we might be due for a stronger tornado this year.
A study completed by the University of Missouri shows Tornado Alley may shift east this year due to warmer than normal Pacific Ocean water temperatures sending the jet stream east. This could increase tornadoes locally. However, University of Albany meteorology professor Paul Roundy says data doesn't support the findings.
In comparison with last year, the sea surface temperature patterns in the middle of the Pacific, which are relevant to what he's focused on, are actually cooler this year than they were last year, rather than warmer.
If we have the correct elements come together, the jet stream over us and a strong front moving through, Dr. Roundy thinks there's a short window when it could become active.
According to my research, would be between the 6th and the 8th of May. And after that, over the next couple of weeks, the level of activity would actually be lower than average.
This is still some of the tree damage that you can see near Amsterdam after the tornado that came through Labor Day of 2011. That went right through Cranesville, causing significant structural damage to that two-story house behind me. That was an EF1 with winds of 110 miles per hour, but there have been stronger tornadoes to hit the capital region in years past.
In 2003, I had quite a long path length. It started in Greene County, moved up through, I think, Columbia, Rensselaer counties, and up into Vermont. And then that was a strong tornado in EF3, and the last violent tornado in EF4 was probably 1989.
Steve DiRienzo said some of our most violent storms haven't been part of a large outbreak or a busy severe weather season. Frequency of these events depends on where you live in the capital region.
Saratoga County, where the Hudson and Mohawk meet, again, because you have the winds, northwest winds come down the Mohawk, meeting southerly winds up the Hudson. You can get some spin developing there, or shear, we call it wind shear. And again, the Hudson Valley, Housatonic Valley, and the Connecticut valleys.
No matter where you live, now is the time to prepare. CBS 6 will always warn you before severe weather strikes. Meteorologist Chris Cloninger, CBS 6 News.
Yeah, definitely always want to be prepared, Steve. I know that listening to the trends there, it certainly seems like this could be perhaps the perfect storm. I don't want to use the pun, but
it could be. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. We're actually, the local data says we're in a tornado drought, and we really have been. As Steve DiRienzo from the National Weather Service said, the last significant tornado was the Hudson Valley event, which was back in 2003. So it's been almost a decade, or will be a decade coming up this July, and we tend to run on these decadal patterns. So we technically are overdue. Some suggest that the Springfield, Massachusetts tornado, 2011, which was a major event, could count for our region because of its close proximity. So we'll just have to wait and see. Severe weather season is an interesting time, and really just about anything can happen, so it's always important for people to be prepared.
Absolutely. We always say awareness is step one in the process.
Right, and we're here to help you do that. We've got some interesting technology here in the Weather Center that we use frequently when there is severe weather. This is essentially our Storm Alert Doppler system, where we are uniquely able to not only look at National Weather Service radar products, but have our own live instant Doppler 6. And what you've seen us do for years and years, our ability to do storm tracking like this, it's very easy. It's a point and click kind of mechanism. So we know the storm speed, we know where the storm is. You point, you click, and you run a track out, and you can cover severe weather pretty rapidly and dramatically. And like I said, we can easily switch this over to live instant Doppler 6, so we can not only look at the National Weather Service Doppler radar, we can look at our own radar. And it's always nice to have a couple of different sets of electronic eyes to scan these storms, and we are uniquely capable here at CBS 6 of being able to do that. So